Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So, the 1 week Path of Exile race has just ended. Uh, I did pretty well. I participated along with the team that I formed, and our initial goal was to put together a group and try to do as well as we can in a 1 week challenge like this, primarily to understand how the group dynamic works, to understand the benefits and the detriments of leveling and playing as a group, just seeing what it would be like when it's pushed, when it's at a really high level of play. Um, and overall, we went pretty well. I mean, we did pretty well, that is. I ended up third on the ladder. I played a little bit more than some of the other people that ended up in the positions just below. But, we did have some unfortunate dropouts, as the video of yesterday shows. Some people ended up dying in the last moments of the race, unfortunately. But overall, pretty good. We didn't end up getting the top spot because of our RNG on the map system, which I'll explain in a little bit. But I just wanted to go through everything that happened and what I played, all the good stuff, and try to summarize it all. So some of you which weren't able to watch the whole thing or watch much of it at all, to kind of see the important things that we learned and the things that happened. So we all got started, I think a day or two prior to the event starting, in which we formed a group and we just kind of saw who the group members would be. I made a chart to organize who would be playing what, and what kind of gem swaps people would have to make between quests with each other to kind of optimize their spec. And the specs were more or less predefined, as we wanted some kind of group synergy to work when we would play as a group. And we did the normal run just to see kind of how the leveling system will play out, but that was a pretty minor part. Our goal by the end of the first day of the race was to reach Fell Shrine on the last difficulty level. Fell Shrine is a zone that's just super easy to grind in, and it is the zone most people choose to grind in before they enter the map system. The map system starts around level 60, but because you don't really have many good items at this stage in the game, it'll probably start in the mid 60s, and you'll grind Fell Shrine for quite a while individually. The reason you want to do it individually is because while as a group you get bonus loot, you get bonus quantity on most items, this quantity bonus does not apply to one very crucial item, which is a map. Maps are dropped in the game just randomly. If you're playing Merciless, I believe they can drop anywhere in Merciless, including some parts of Act 1, if not all of Act 1. And you need to collect these maps, and then you modify them with certain attributes which makes them, in some cases, more difficult. And you go to the map machine and you put that thing in and you do the map, and you hope, you praise that you could possibly get another map within the map so you can continue going through the maps. And the way the game works is, if you kill a mob in a map, just a regular, dinky mob, it's level 60, you just whack that thing, you can drop a level 60 item, you can drop another level 60 map. But if you kill a champion or a rare mob, they can drop items that are up to 2 levels higher. I was under the impression that champions only drop 1 level higher. They do when it comes to normal items, but I have seen champions drop maps 2 levels higher, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. Might be a little bit of a tweak they did with the map system to increase the chance of maps 2 levels higher to drop. So that's how you get them. You get lucky off the important mobs in the map that you do to get a higher level map. Once you get the higher level map, you hope for the same thing. You move up and up through the map system, try to get the highest level maps possible. And if you're really lucky, you'd get enough of these that you'd reach a stabilization point to do higher level maps rather than lower level maps as your average. And to increase this average, what you have to do is you have to invest materials. You have to invest currencies, which is it's essentially like gold, but there's no gold in this game. So you invest the valuable items in this game to roll and reroll these maps, so they have the hardest attributes, while it's still doable. And having harder attributes increases the quantity dropped by the mobs within the map. And this quantity bonus does apply to the map drops in the game. So you essentially have to put a lot of wealth in the maps that you're doing to get more maps out of the maps that you're doing, and hopefully continue this as you're leveling. And this is really the large part of the end game, especially within a 1 week race. So that's what we had in mind. We had everyone split up. After the first night, we got to Fell Shrine, no problem. Then we split up, level by yourself in Fell Shrine. You have 1 day, try to get as high level as you can. I did that. I was first for a while. When I went to sleep, got up, Zoldrick, which is the guy in the last video, he passed me in that case, and he ended up dying shortly after. It was kind of like a desync thing. He saw nothing on his screen, he instantly died, so it's kind of like a lag thing. But, you know, no big deal. He re-rolled, then a few other people died, and they tried to re-roll and they died again. We ended up losing one of the members we initially planned to start with, which is Deiru. He's going to play the Ice Spear Witch, but, you know, no luck there. So we ended up just going with 5, which is fine. Ideally, you'd want 5 people to run maps. The max party size is 6, and there's 6 portals when you enter a map. So if someone DCs, he can enter the last portal. If 2 people DC, then only one of the 2 can enter the last portal. So if you have 6 and one person has a problem, or one person has to log out to save his character, you know, you're gonna have him sit up. So 5 is really kind of ideal in my opinion. So we just went with it anyway. We kind of expected someone to die during the maps or prior. So we did that. We started farming Fell Shrine. Some people got maps, some people didn't. We tried to do those maps. Cybrix got really lucky. He went away from what we planned, and he started doing maps at like level 60. We planned to actually start doing maps at 65, but he got lucky enough that he kept getting maps and more maps, and he was able to sustain that pretty well. In fact, those of us that got to 65 and started doing maps at 65 actually did not get lucky, and we had to do things like group around and all that kind of shit. So on the second or third day, when we were grouping with Cybrix, we had some kind of an issue where, you know, typically when a map drops in the map, we just give the map out of courtesy to the person who started the map. We just kind of agreed that that was the case. And what ended up happening was I was running really low on maps, and Cybrix had like fucking 10 maps. So we asked them for like an insurance policy, because like no one else in the group had maps, and Cybrix was the lucky one. So we asked them to give us some maps when we would log off, so if we ran out of maps completely, we wouldn't have to go back to Fell Shrine, because in the end we still all needed to be at the same pace. You know, that's kind of the point of the group. So that's what happened. He gave us some maps. We ended up actually running out of maps. Then we used one of his. We used the Vol Pyramid map, and in that Vol Pyramid map we found 4 maps, and one of the maps that we found was a Vol Pyramid map. So, you know, we kept his collection intact, and we were able to continue doing maps from that point, so it was very useful. But when he came back, he decided that he was entitled to all the maps that dropped forever, because apparently they were all sourced from the map. So it was just like a really dumb thing, but he ended up being the one trying to opt out of the group. Later he tried to blame it on like personal reasons of some of the other group members, but in reality, I think it's just a case of people being completely sleep deprived and doing stupid things. So anyway, he ended up playing again the next day and dying to like snakes in an easy map. But as the rest of the group, we kept trying to do maps. You know, we got enough base of maps at the lower levels. So we had a lot of 60 maps. We had quite a few 61 maps. We had a few 62 maps, and we were kind of moving up the ladder. Each person was doing the maps individually and pooling the slightly higher level ones. So they were pool like the 63s, maybe some 64s. And then I believe it was on the 3rd day, maybe 4th day, that we got together and tried to do these 63s and 64s as a group while investing a lot of our currencies to try to move up the ladder. That's kind of when you want to do it, because early on in the 60s and the 61s, maybe in the 62s, you kind of get enough maps to sustain yourself, you know, without investing too much currency in the map to make it harder so you can get more items out of it. The thing is, when you're in a 69 map, for instance, which is the highest level map, you can get a map that's 69 or all the way to 60. But when you're in like a 61 map, you know, you can get a map that's 63 all the way down to 60. So it's only a -1 potential. So you don't need to get as many maps to average out to stay at that level. at that lower level bracket. But when you're at 60, the vast majority of the maps you're going to get are going to be lower levels. When you're at 69, that is. So, yeah, when you're moving up the map ladder, you have to invest a lot and hope to get a little bit lucky. So the first night, we invested a lot. We did not get lucky. We went to like a 65 map, I think. We maybe got 167, and then we went all the way back down. And the next night, it happened again. I think we went up to 68, or maybe it was 67 again the next night, and then all the way back down to like 61. And this is like unbelievable bad luck. And it actually happened every single night. We would do one of the high maps and then be crushed all the way back down like an hour later, just decimated. Like we would have like a 68 map, a 67 map, a 65 map, 364 maps, and we do all of those, and then we get absolutely nothing in any of them. And then we have to go back to solo farm. So that happened every single night, including on the last day. I think it was on the second last day where we actually found a 69 map for the first time, and I think it was the first one found on this race. For that 69 map, we rolled it as a blue to try to get maze, which is, it makes the area a lot bigger. And then we used a regal orb to make it a rare, and then we added properties to it with exalted orb, which is like one of the most valuable things in the game, to try to make it the absolute perfect map. And we did. We made a maze necropolis with like 40 something pack size and like 90, like mid 90 quantity, which is like insane. This is like the most insane map you can possibly get in the game. We did it. We didn't get a single map, not even a 60. And an hour later, we were back down to our top map being a level 61. That's how bad our luck is. It was mind-blowingly bad. And on the last day, this happened actually 3 different times. Like we would get up the map ladder and then get crushed all the way back down. On the last day, we ended up doing a more than 24-hour push because we were a little bit behind. And I'll try to explain that because this is some advanced strategy here, which I'm sure some of you guys would appreciate to know. Because we pushed so hard, the competition pushed pretty hard as well. We were competing with a group of 3, and this group of 3 essentially was very good competition because they played a lot. They played more than we did, even though I played like 12, 14 hours every day. These guys played more, and playing more gives you more experience. The other thing is they were fortunate enough to stabilize at high level maps. They said that they hadn't done a map lower than 63 for like the last 3 days, when in the last 3 days we were crushed every single night back to 61s. So they were doing maps that would reward them like twice as much experience when we were doing the same. So we were capitalizing on our efficiency. Our goal was to try to destroy these maps, do them as fast as possible, because we knew we didn't have the maps that were required to keep up with these guys. So we did the best we could, but these guys always matched up every night. I would be first, go to sleep. They would pass us by a little bit when I'd wake up, and then I'd pass them once they got to sleep. So it was neck and neck. But they ended up doing like a 50-hour push. In the last 50 hours, one of them died like early on, but the other 2 played like 47 or 48 hours out of the last 50 hours of the race. Like, we wanted to win, but we weren't going to do something like that. That's really ridiculous, in my opinion, for something like this. But, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want. That's what they did. And they did end up beating us by the end. But by the end, we were doing 62 maps because we got crushed on the RNG, and they were doing like 69 maps. So they'd kill one mob and get 10, 20 times the experience of us killing one mob. But we were doing it so fast that we were kind of gaining about half of the experience per time as they were getting. But it was still very, very challenging. They ended up edging us in the end with more playtime, with better RNG. But we never gave up. When you're in a situation like that, when you're behind and your rate is less, you're trying to race with a Ferrari on your bicycle. It doesn't mean you should stop. We knew that if they went to sleep, they would lose, likely. if they died, they would lose. So these are two factors that we knew we could have over them. So we played as long as we did. We played like I think 27 hours straight to keep the pressure on them, even though they were in the lead. So when someone's playing for 48 hours or some crap straight, they're very easily going to make a mistake, and they're going to want to go to sleep. So we try to push this against them, but unfortunately for us, this did not happen. None of them went to sleep, and none of them made a grave mistake of dying and having their character off the ladder for us to win. But all in all, it was pretty good. I learned an immense amount about the game, and a lot of the experiences, a lot of the dynamics that really go into a grouping in this game, and really our original scope was more than achieved by having this information. We had a lot of people watch the event, especially the last few moments of the race, and I think everyone really had a blast, and I can't wait to see what will go down when the game will finally be released later in January. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little brief conversation here, a little brief review of what went down, and maybe you guys eventually enjoy the game as much as I do. See you guys tomorrow.